Hey guys, Shadowz here, welcome back to another Gears 5 video. Today we are going to be discussing Swarm Creatures and Deebee robot classes explained, as well as my own personal Overrun game mode fan concept in Gears 5. Ever since the original title that started it all, with Gears 1 debuting back in 2006 under Epic Games, every sequel of the series has introduced a brand new playable experience for Gears fans and Xbox gamers alike to enjoy a new take on the Gears universe. Beginning with Gears of War 2, which released in 2008, included the iconic wave-based Horde mode that added the amazing experience of facing off against countless enemies featured from the campaign in a 50-wave bare-bones format. Next up in Gears of War 3, released in 2011, Epic Games have created Beast Mode, a truly authentic experience of what screams that this is a Gears of War. Based on a timer countdown against stranded and cog heroes, a wide variety of locust creatures were made playable for the first time ever in their true organic story version, over 12 ways total, avoiding the incoming hammer strikes. Lastly, in 2013, the final Gears game by Epic Games themselves, before they sold the Gears IP to Microsoft the following year, Gears of War Judgment introduced a brand new game mode that is still to this day, in my honest opinion, is one of the best game modes to ever be in any Gears game. The infamous Overrun is a blend of Horde and Beast mode into an all-new multiplayer PvP game mode that truly feels like what Gears of War is and what it just represents overall. Huge story-driven heroes in a war against a variety of some of the best enemy creature designs in video game history. With the Cohesion Studio taking over the Gears franchise in 2014, Gears of War 4, their first new entry into the series in 2016, didn't actually include a brand new game mode, a first for Gears since 2008. With the release of Gears 5 last year in 2019, we saw a new game mode experience in Escape where tri-based squads do attempt the Trojan horse strategy in the true Gears fashion by getting purposely podded by a Swarm Snatcher to plant a venom weapon inside the heart of the hive itself, beginning the evacuating race that is the new Escape game mode. Now, while Gears 5 currently features two PvE based game modes in the just discussed Escape, as well as also accompanied by the franchise staple Gears 5's iteration of Horde mode, what if I were to tell you that technically a mini version of Beast Mode is actually hidden away, heavily underused in Gears 5 right now, but instead of being its own fully fleshed out game mode, it is as of right now exclusively tied to Jack's hijacking ability that only allows for playable control over these Swarm creatures and Deebee robots, exactly like Gears 3 Beast Mode, but for just 30 seconds to a minute. 5 months ago, after spending weeks and weeks playing as the Jack character in Horde mode, I put together 25 minutes of raw gameplay footage showing 25 different playable enemies in Gears 5, and ever since then to this day right now, I've always felt like it was a TC teasing at where the future of Gears 5 could go, and I feel like with Operation 4 approaching very soon, it is the perfect time to talk about it. Despite Gears 5's Horde mode being fully based on cog heroes having their own skill cards, ultimates and more, thanks to the hijacking ability that TC built for playing as the Jackbot specifically, Gears 5 Horde mode also includes the amazing fully developed and upgraded modernized technology that was used to play the Beast mode and Overrun game modes of the past, to spawn in and play as a total of 16 Swarm creatures and 9 Deebee robots in Gears 5 right now. Recently, on one of the latest developer live streams, where we did see the farewell of Octis, who had been the community manager role at the Cohesion Studio ever since 2015 with Gears UE, that he did actually mention on his leave and goodbye to the Gears fam that firstly, he is looking forward to being a Gears fan again, not in the behind the scenes but on the outside world, because secondly, in Octis' own words, the best days of Gears 5 are yet ahead, as seen in the following clip.
You know, we've been talking a long time, obviously we're hoping to do a roadmap. Hopefully that'll materialize at some point. You know, as Dana said, a lot of things are in shifting and in flight, so we've not been able to do it. I'm sure it's still in the future, hopefully. You know, I have seen what's to come in a lot of cases, and as a fan, I'm really excited. And like all the things we've been saying to you about, you know, this kind of, I guess, like this brighter future and kind of all this future of your feedback being brought into action, it just taking time is there, and I'm excited that I'm leaving at a time where, like, if I'm gonna leave, it's at least a point where I think a lot of your feedback has been put into action, and I think you're gonna see some really amazing results at the end of it. I hope it turns out really well. You know, the team are doing an amazing job so far, and you know, I'm gutted I'm not really going to be there for what I think is still the best days of Gears 5 ahead for me personally. I think the best is more than yet to come. I think there's going to be so much cool stuff, and you know, it's great because I get to enjoy it as a fan now. But on the downside, it'd be great to be here with the team and kind of celebrate what I think is going to be a series of successes. But
now, according to TC themselves, the reason behind why the Locust enemies can't be imported or developed into Gears 5's Horde mode is because it would require a huge amount of development time, which supposedly TC doesn't have for that size of a feature. So if that were true, wouldn't the same logic apply to the huge underusage right now of the fully programmed, playable, rendered out character models with their own unique UI system, abilities and attacks, animations, exclusive executions and so much more, unless TC have plans for this feature of Gears 5 to be a part of something bigger, which I think is exactly what's happening with the upcoming seasonal content in the very soon Operation 4, seeing as how Horde mode secretly features a variety of playable Swarm creatures and Deebee robots. I wanted to break down all of the character classes so far, explaining why it's very likely we could see how this translates into an Overrun style game mode in Gears 5 for Operation 4, and also my personal fan concepts on just how possibly it may play out. Firstly, to begin with, there are a total of 16 playable Swarm creatures, including Boomshot Scion, Buzzkill Scion, Swarm Drone, Elite Hunter, Elite Sniper, Swarm Hunter, Ice Scion, Imago, Juvie, Malicious Scion, Pouncer, Popper, Sire, Swarm Sniper, and the Swarm Warden. Juvies are a type of a small creature found within the Swarm enemy faction, playing the role of scouts and cannon fodder in the overall Swarm hierarchy. Juvies are usually sent out in packs by the hive mind itself to suppress the human enemies using their numbers. Their primary attack is a swiping melee with the ability to scale walls and burst into a super speed sprint. The Popper variants, while still able to melee and maneuver like regular Juvies, they are armed with bolo grenades as their primary attack is a self-destruct detonation, leaving an explosive mess in their wake. Imagos are freshly matured Swarm drones after an evolution process involving Juvies entering the mounds of a Swarm nest. They scavenge whatever weapons they come across to charge forward thinking only at the enemy, equipped with an Enforcer submachine gun for their primary attack, as well as also a Mighty Fist melee of a secondary attack. Imagos are all about aggressive tactics but lack the sense to remain behind cover for long. Drones are tough, resistant soldiers who have fought and lived long enough as Imagos to mature that resemble the core backbone of the Swarm's new army, the perfect jack-of-all-trades soldier for the Swarm faction. The drones are super flexible in usage of weaponry, with various classes existing to fit the multiple settings and environments across Sire. Equipped with the Hammerburst to assault rifle as their primary attack, similar to other Swarm creatures, all of the drones feature a secondary melee attack that interestingly has its own exclusive animation that isn't in versus multiplayer. The Elite Drone variant comes equipped with the heavy-hitting claw-like machine gun for their primary attack. The Swarm Sniper comes equipped with, of course, the COG standard longshot sniper rifle. The Elite Sniper comes equipped with the Deebee built M-bar railgun, which one thing I did notice is that the charge was actually far longer than versus multiplayer, catching me off quite a fair bit, trying to just charge up the weapon itself for those sweet crunchy headshots. The Swarm Hunter, the only female character in the Swarm army, comes equipped with the UIR Markzer Mark I marksman rifle. The Elite Hunter is receiving the Farangard upgrade, is equipped with the iconic Torque Bow for those explosive rounds, but even more importantly, the Elite Hunters have the special ability to cloak turning invisible, which I noticed I couldn't actually control myself. However, if you timed it right using Jack's hijacking ability, you can actually take over an Elite Hunter as is already in cloak form to experience it in full. The Swarm Grenadier comes equipped with the COG standard Nasher shotgun. The Elite Grenadier, featuring a removable helmet that can be shot off, is equipped with the Mega Pounding Overkill shotgun. The Sires are human children mutated from emulsion poisoning and genetic experiments, serving as the ancestors to the Locust Horde. Distempered, uncontrollable and highly aggressive creatures, these Sires are able to use their modified legs to amplify their speed and power. Equipped with a razor sharp melee primary attack, the Sires also do include a special ability, which is unfortunately not accessible at this time, however does include the Sire pouncing onto its target, dragging their helpless body until the Sire manages to position itself for the ultimate execution. Scions are the original surviving members of the Locust Horde that evolved from the exposure to the Emulsion countermeasure weapon. Extremely larger and stronger than drones, Scions possess the ability to empower and rally swarm drones by emitting osium dust. Just like the other swarm creatures shown so far, all of these Scions possess their own animated staggering sprint and secondary melee attack that sees this giant arm swing its way through the air. Similar to the class system of the swarmer drones earlier, the Scions come in a variety of classes as well based upon the heavy weapon that they are wielding. Overall, there is the Dropshot Scion equipped with the new COG's very own Dropshot munitions launcher, which just feels so good at being used in its true fashion in the hands of a tall and large creature. The Boomshot Scion equipped with the grenade launcher from the past of the Locust Boomers. The Molsha Scion equipped with the old school heavy duty hand cranked Gatling gun. You might notice that each of these Scions are also decked out in their very own unique armor sets. The Buzzkill Scion is equipped with yet again another construction tool made by the Carmine Construction Company, the Buzzsaw ricocheting weapon of mass destruction, the Buzzkill. The Ice Scion is equipped with the brand new cryo cannon that has been repurposed by the Swarm for combat in war, freezing anything organic the blast comes in contact with, which can be combined with the Scion's devastating melee for chilling instant results. The Pouncer is a swarm creature that usually hunts in packs, alerting nearby signs of human activity through the connected swarm hive mind, so that its adult form, the Snatcher, are able to prey on and pod human lives for the greater cause of biologically engineering more soldiers for the army. Equipped with a deadly multi-purpose quilled tail, the Pouncers are able to push off surfaces, leaping great distances around the battlefield. Their primary attack is the ability to fire quills from its tail, which regenerate very quickly as a form of doing damage over distance. The Pouncer's secondary attack includes the ability to pounce on marked targets for a brutal chopping execution, as well as a tail-based melee to cover all areas of combat, is one of these swarm's most versatile assets. Honestly, I have to say as well that playing as a Swarm Pouncer is by far one of the most funnest things I've ever done in a Gears of War game. The Warden are a special type of Swarm Scion originating from the Locust Palace Guards, whose duties were to protect and serve Queen Myrrah. Vanguards for the Swarm, their presence on the battlefield is often a telling sign that the Swarm are planning to turn a chosen location into a new hive. Equipped with the dual-wielding Breaker Maces, their primary attacks range from either an outrageous burst melee to the ground-pounding slam that would leave any cog gear flattened more than Jacinto. Onto the 9 playable Deebee robots, Horde mode does include Bastion, Deebee Deadeye, DR1 Devastator, DR1 Oppressor, DR1 Protector, Deebee Peacemaker, Reject, Stump, and lastly, one of the most interesting playable characters in Gears of War history. You can even play as the shock or explosive Deebee trackers. Deebee Peacemakers are humanoid Deebees that initially started out as security bots and dangerous labor workers for the new COG, before being weaponized for intense combat with the Outsider Uprising and the new Swarm War. Equipped with the Enforcer submachine gun as their primary attack, just like the previous Swarm creatures, all of the Deebee robots feature a secondary melee attack. Deebee Deadeyes are the sniper class of the prior Deebee humanoid shepherds, specializing and equipped with the M-Bar railgun. Deebee DR1s are another class of humanoid Deebees that are slower but stronger than the regular shepherds, mirroring the same classes of the Swarm Scions by using a variety of COG heavy weaponry for all different battle scenarios. The DR1 Protector comes equipped with the burst fire heavy hitting overkill shotgun. The DR1 Devastator is equipped with the explosive RL4, or better known as the Salvo rocket launcher. The DR1 Oppressor comes equipped with the 3-bullet firing tri-shot chain gun. Deebee trackers are small ball-like Deebees that use their body as a fully functioning weapon, armed with either shock or bolo grenades, detonate on cue at close proximity to the enemy. These machines are essentially mobile self-tracking smart grenades. Spawning in as a Deebee tracker was a very confusing experience at first, but turned quickly into a rolling ball simulator that I didn't want to stop. Rejects are former Deebee shepherds that have been taken over and possessed by a Swarm leech. While not offering much gameplay wise in terms of attacks or even usefulness, it is quite enjoyable to play as this zombie stumbling light enemy on the Gears battlefield. Bastions are guardians possessed by a leech that reverse the original role of the Deebee guardian counterpart, as instead of forming a shield for itself, the primary ability of the Bastions are to act as support units, generating a kinetic cocoon-like shield around all of their allies rather than themselves. Finally, saving one of the best DB robots to the end. The Stump is a DR1 DB also infested by the Swarm Leeches, turning the already combat ready DR1 into a walking death machine, crawling along on all fours, which really gives off to me the Halo Floodlight vibes. The Stump is equipped with a tri-shot chain gun as your primary attack, with the ability to take aim as a stationary base turret, laying down bullets with perfectly pinned down accuracy. Now that I've explained all of the playable Swarm creatures and DB robots, which already feels like a beast mode experience in itself, for me personally, based on the amount of development time it must have taken the TC developers, whether it's the fact that 25 playable Gears characters for the Swarm and DBs are fully playable for user control, the fully rendered out models and animations, to the new player friendly UI integrated into the very screen, that this is supposed to be a part of something bigger, which is exactly what I think is happening right now. Because for Octus to say that the best days of Gears 5 are still ahead, the upcoming Operation 4 and Operation 5 have to do something on a bigger scale than anything in Gears 5 right now, and there are only two things that I can think of. Firstly, an Overrun multiplayer PvP game mode using this same technology already built into Gears 5, or secondly, a brand new campaign story DLC. And we already know what might be happening with one of those. Overrun sees two teams of 5 duke it out over a generator in Gears Judgment, one team playing as the Cog Heroes, while the others the creatures of the Locust Horde. While I don't see the same exact gameplay returning, I do think it could still work, and a very interesting Overrun game mode fan concept can be made, purely based on the current setting of the Gears of War universe that TC now have been actually building for the last 4 years. My personal Gears 5 Overrun fan concept game mode would be based on the fact that the COG characters are already featured as heroes in the game's PvE modes, versus the Swarm villains as seen throughout this video, based on the already developed in-game playable creatures and robots, creating an authentic, true Gears of War experience that Gears 5 is rightfully missing right now. The game mode would be based upon the current war that is happening in the storyline events of Gears 5. COG heroes having to defend the objective of protecting a fabricator, which allows for the ability to build fortifications and spawn in additional weapons, while on the flip side, the Swarm villains having to protect the inner core of a Swarm hive, having the ability to spawn in at a much faster rapid rate. Seeing as how Free-For-All was even considered and launched with a player count of 14 players total, shows promise that if an Overrun-like game mode were to make a debut in Gears 5, that having the opportunity to play as the creatures of Gears of War would really thrive in a game mode of, let's say, 20 players, the ultimate 10 vs 10 Gears of War brawl. With Operation 4 arriving later this month in June to early July, I do feel like everything is set in motion for Gears 5 to easily see an Overrun style game mode where we can play as a Pouncer enemy, not limited to 1 minute game time because of the Jack character, but freely in an all new game mode that Gears 5 truthfully needs right now. And the only thing that I can really think of to make the statement true, that maybe the best days of Gears 5 are coming. Please make sure to leave me a comment down below telling me what you think. What is your guys' opinion on all of the playable Swarm creatures and DB robots in Gears 5? And do you guys think TC will ever use this same technology to maybe release a game mode like Beast Mode or Overrun in a future operation? So there you have it, guys, full details on the playable Swarm creatures and DB robot classes explained, as well as also my own personal Overrun game mode fan concept in Gears 5. Give the video a thumbs up and share if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I shall see you in the next one.